Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Lost Like Mike. I am your host, Mike Gonzalez, hanging out, and thank you for coming by and visiting and sharing stories with me today. Appreciate the signing up and subscribing or liking or whatever they do, and especially for sending me messages on lostlikemike@gmail.com. I had a dream last night. I wasn't even going to talk about this. It just popped up in my head right now. I started watching Fear of the Walking Dead. I started it way back when it came out, but I guess when the series started, I watched maybe a season of it, a season and a half, and just life got ahead of me. So I just I was looking for something that was polar opposite or like completely different than I had mentioned in a previous episode that I was watching Criminal Minds, and I'm all caught up with Criminal Minds. I watched 17 seasons of this show, Criminal Minds and Criminal Minds Evolution, and I started thinking, it started getting in my head, like, when you watch just too much about serial killers and like just, I'm not saying that I was like, oh, I want to kill some people. I'm just saying I was finding myself just in a very kind of dark place a lot of the time, kind of because you're just inundated with all these just horrible people and these instances of like, I don't know, killers and bad people, and them having to just hunt them down and be consumed by the fact that they're doing this all the time. So anyway, I was like, I gotta watch something totally different for a while. As everybody knows, I watch TV while I drive. I just have it on the background or whatever, and I watch it on my lunch break, and I watch it whenever, to wind down. So anyway, I fell upon Fear of the Walking Dead, and I said, I think I'm gonna, because the idea of going back and watching the actual show Walking Dead from the first season and I just think that's a bit much right now. It's too much for me to handle. So I thought this was a good compromise. Okay, so all that is just leading up to my dream from last night. So there was an episode of the Fear of the Walking Dead where the lady says to this other one, like, they're looking at this zombie creature, this undead creature. And one lady says to the other one, if I'm ever like that, I need you to put me down and just, take me out, which is a very dark thing. And I know I said I wanted something polar opposite, but these are zombies and not serial killers. So just go with it. Okay. All right. So I went to bed not thinking about that, but when I heard that, it reminded me of a fear I have of losing my memory. My father died of complications of early onset dementia and Alzheimer's. And I think, one of my fears is that, which also was touched on in Criminal Minds, one of the characters, his mom is afflicted with that. And so, okay. So long story short, I've had that thought in my mind in the past, which is why I think I dreamt what I dreamt. So in my dream, I was getting dressed very dapper. I had a tie and a nice shirt on, and I was looking really sharp. And that scene that you sort of you're getting polished up and you're shining your shoes and whatnot, right? And then I was walking past a mirror, and my pants had changed to camouflage shorts, and my shirt was tucked into my camouflage shorts. And I said to the mirror, I said, when did I change my pants? I don't remember changing my pants. And in the dream, I said, "Ah, here we go." And other people around me were like, "You're just tired. You probably just, you don't remember changing your pants because you were tired or whatever." And I said, "No, somebody put me down. Somebody, who's gonna do it, And that was the whole dream. Was trying to convince people that I was losing my mind and to please put me out of my misery. That just popped in my head. I don't know why I wanted to tell that story, but maybe I need to watch like a good comedy. I tried. I watched Tires with Shane Gillis, and is that how you say his last name? He's a very funny fella, and I liked the show, but I burned through it really quick, and it's just done. And so I don't know if you can suggest a good comedy or something I should watch. I watched like I just want a TV show or something. Maybe I got to go back to the classics. Maybe I'll watch Cheers or something. Anyway, send some sort of comments and let me know. Email me a list of what I should watch. I did want to tell this story. I had wrote it down on my notes, and so I went back and I read my notes. I said, I didn't talk about that. I really was supposed to talk about that. We were in this Whataburger, my wife and I and the baby, my little girl, and just having a breakfast, whatnot. And it was we never go into the Whataburger to eat breakfast, but we were just, I don't know why, we were killing time. And this particular one had several homeless people that were kicking it in the Whataburger. I guess maybe they have free refills on the coffee or whatever they had. But there was like several tables where there would be one individual sitting down, and this was a while back. I mean, it wasn't just like the other day, because I wasn't even watching Criminal Minds at the time. I think my mind would have been painting a different picture at the time if I was watching that show. But anyway, there was I felt bad because, well, I was sitting down, we were having our breakfast, and they had music going on, like the way they have in restaurants or like fast food chains, I guess. And like Muzak or like different. And in this one, for some reason, it had Disco Inferno playing on the music. If you know what that song is, if you don't know what the song is, basically it's like, Disco Inferno, burn, baby, burn, dun, 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 okay. And it's a very upbeat song, dun, 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 right? But there was one of the homeless men was sitting, and he was like staring into nothing. Just eyes were a vacuum, and in a gruffy voice, he was singing, "Burn, baby, burn, burn, baby, burn," and it totally changed the vibe of the song. You know what I mean? It looked like he was just, and probably, God bless him, he was probably just there enjoying the song, and wanting to sing along. But it was so dark and so like spooky. Burn, baby, burn, baby, burn, baby, burn. And he was just singing the chorus just every time. That was pretty creepy. But it was like a tale of two worlds, because so my wife was looking behind me to this older man. He had long shaggy hair and long beard, and she said that he was just sitting there reading his little Bible. He had a little book with him, like a little New Testament, and he was just sitting there smiling and reading his book, but disheveled, and his clothes looked worn, and he looked obviously like the telltale signs of being homeless, unwashed, sort of just disheveled, very rough around the edges, right? But she said that she couldn't take her eyes off of this man smiling and just sitting there. He didn't have any food in front of him. He had a small cup, I think, of water. He was just sort of taking it easy, kind of chilling. And so we left like normal, and we got out to the car, and my wife was like, she couldn't get over this one man, and she said that she thought that I should go tell the man if I could buy him breakfast. And I was like, no, that's completely weird. I couldn't imagine like walking up to somebody and being like, yo, I'm looking at you and I could tell you could use a breakfast. Would you like a breakfast? You know what I mean? I went through every scenario I could in my mind. I was like, well, I could just be like, biscuits for everybody. and be like, yo, yeah, anybody want a biscuit? I'll buy everybody biscuits. Let's go. But I kept telling her, I was like, it's not that I don't want to do this, man. I just don't know how to go about it, right? And then I said, you know what? It was like Doctor Strange at the end of the Avengers, where he goes through like a million different scenarios. I was like, yeah, look, I came up with this. I'll go up to him and I'll say, sir, I'll have a gift card. I'll purchase a gift card, and I'll walk up to him. I said, sir, like, I'm just wanting to give this to a random person. I think that you may want this. Would you like this today? And then hand it to him, or don't even say 2 words, just hand it and walk off. My daughter was like, I want to do it. And then we got inside. I said, all right, well, that's the game winner. We're going to go buy this gift card. And my daughter will hand it to the gentleman. We won't say 2 words, and we'll just go. But my daughter, she decided she didn't want to do it. And, I wasn't concerned that this man was going to, like, turn into a lizard or something, eat my daughter. She just decided she didn't want to do it. So I walked up to the gentleman, and I noticed that it was the New Testament, was his little book. I don't think that we even knew at that point that was what he was reading. It just made the story kind of sweet at the end of it, because he was reading his pocket Bible. But he just smiled and was very gracious. He didn't, and he just said, I said, God bless you, man. And I said, would you like this? And he was like, he smiled and said, he's blessed me back. God bless you back. And we dipped. But it was like, from one homeless man over here, like singing Disco Inferno like the devil, and then this other man reading the Bible. I just, I'm sure both were not, I don't want to be like that. Maybe I'm for dramatic effect, but anyway. I wrote down Burn, Baby, Burn, and I was like, for the life of me, I said, I can't remember what I was going to talk about. Burn, baby, burn. And then it dawned on me, so I said, well, I better get it out of my system so I could erase it off on my notes. Another topic that I had written down, as everybody knows, I if you had been listening to any parts of the podcast previously, I've been battling with my throat and my voice, and you can hear the raspiness or whatnot. For months I've been dealing with this, and I finally got to a specialist, and he booked me to go do some tests. And I believe I talked about going and getting the first test done. So I won't bore you with that. If I've already talked about it, I think it was from last week, so I probably would have talked about it. What I did not talk about was the fact that, I hope that I did talk about this, because it was, when would it have happened? I would have done the test last week during the week. Was it before or after Wednesday, which is when I record the episodes? My goodness. It's very possible I did not talk about this. See, that's not a good sign if I can't remember. But okay, very briefly, I'll tell the story. It was a barium swallow, which basically I was drinking this drink, which was not as bad as they said it was going to be. But I laid against this plate, this wall, and this man was taking x-rays of me. And at one point, they moved the machine down, and I was still in the machine, and I laid down, and I drank from a straw, and he kept taking pictures. And so some things were discovered as to what the problem is with me. And I have 2 more different tests to do. One that's going to be next week is going to come after my next episode. So in a couple weeks, I'll talk about all that. By the end of this month, all the tests will be done, and I'll have a good, overall picture of what's happening. I am on certain medicine right now, addressing it. But here's the thing. This was the part that I really wanted to bring up. I went into this for this test, and when I went up to the front to check in, the lady says, "All right, I see here that it's been processed through your insurance, so that'll be $180 something that you'll need to pay right now." And in my mind, I said, my first thought was, I guess I'm not doing the test. I wasn't prepared to sit here and drop $200, from a test. I texted my wife. I said, "Yo, did you know it's gonna be like $200? Do it." And she was like, "Just you need to do it. You need to find out what's going on with you." And then the next test, which I'm just at this point, is going to be another $100 for that test. And what it brought to mind is, I know that there are government programs for poor people, for like that help with medical services. I know that they say, well, they won't refuse medical service to people whether they go into the emergency room, what have you. But I feel like, isn't that crazy? Like, as I consider myself to be, if anything, on the lower end of the middle class. I work hard and to provide for my family, and I'm fortunate to have a job that does have insurance. But so many people in my position are sort of in my economic bracket, because I heard it in my heart, I heard it in my head. The prospect that somebody says, well, it's going to be $200 to take that next test to find out where you're at. And, I hear these guys talking about, at my job, talking about, no, I took the pain until I couldn't, that kind of thing. Or they have manageable illnesses that they're just like, I'm just going to ride this out, because I'll be damned if I can, And you think about the prospect of early diagnosis for things like cancer and treating the disease early on, and for people to be like, nah, you know what, I'm going to wait it out, is incredible to me. It's because there was a moment where I was saying, you know what, it's cool. I don't need the test that bad. You know what I mean? And the idea that I would say, no, I'm going to hold off on this test is incredible. You know, and like I said, unrelated, but you know, like it wasn't the same scenario, but I'm saying people that I know that procrastinate with their health care, and then the repercussions are detrimental. I mean, and to the point of like loss of life. It's incredible. It's just scary to me that money would be the difference between life or death. You know what I mean? I mean, I've told the stories of like my son's great grandparents, and they're very wealthy. They're not related to me. But anyway, you know, just getting the best treatment available. You know, I knew a rich man that beat all kind of illnesses that would have killed people with less money, and that's just crazy to me. Anyway, but it bugged me when I was there, because I said, you know what, here you go, here's my card, a credit card, I'll find a way to pay it later. And I'm sitting down in the waiting room, and I'm thinking that's ridiculous that I would say, you know what, no, I don't want this test. And especially on the drive home, where I'm thinking, yo, like, you found out that this is what's wrong with you. That this is something that's wrong with you. It's not the whole picture, but it's something that you legitimately have to change your life to address and to treat. And to be like, you know, I don't want to fight. It's cool. You know what I mean? And to know that there's tests that I could take that I maybe I'm shying away from or what have you. It's just stupid. I don't know. Anyway, that was just something that I wanted to vent and get off my chest. I mean, I work hard, and there's not a test or a treatment that I wouldn't pay for my wife or my daughter, or my son. But like, I feel guilty having spent what I've already spent on myself. But I think it's ridiculous that I would even like disregard my health for a price tag. You know what I mean? It's insane. I wanted to talk about this other thing. It's on a lighter note. I was driving home, as I do, and I talked to my mom on the phone. And we were talking about various things. We talk about like the TV shows she's watching or things going on, challenges that she's got, and so she says, well, Michael, it's like Shakespeare says, we're all actors in the movies. And I said, Mom, what did you just say? And she said, no, you never heard that. She said, Shakespeare said, we're just all actors in the movies. And I said, Mom, no, it's, and I started laughing. And I said, no, Mom, it's the famous thing that he said was, and I hope that I'm sure it was Shakespeare, but if not, it mostly has been attributed to Shakespeare, and that's, we are all but actors in the play, right? Like, we're all just actors, and the world's but a stage, I think is what it's, something like that. And my computer is dead right now, or I would get the official thing. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll post it, but that's, you know, you've heard of it, I'm sure you have. And so I started doing callbacks to it, like in the conversation, and I was laughing about it. And I said, Mama, we're just actors in the movies. And she would laugh and she'd say, oh, okay, all right. And then I dropped it, and I said, yeah, Mama, we're all just actors in the world's but a stage or whatever. And then, okay, she says. And then we go on a talking. And then she was really trying to be serious. And she says, we were ending the conversation for the day. And she says, well, we're all just puppets in the videos. And I thought that was just the best. She was trying to do a callback, but then she failed at it. So that's my new mantra, is we're all just puppets in the video. Or actors in the movies. I'll have to put that on a t-shirt. It made my day. I don't know what day that was. So not this week, but the next week I'll go in for my next test. And I should say, look, it's not anything like the first doctor said. There's nothing major going on. I just have something that's causing that it's causing it's exacerbating the problem, and that's all. It's not like I don't want it to come off like I have cancer or anything I'm downplay. I mean, I'm not sharing it with y'all. It's just it's a hiatal hernia. So if you want to know, it's so basically my stomach is coming through my diaphragm, and so at night when I lay down, he said when he had me upright, it was barely just a little pocket, there, and so stomach acid kind of is sitting right there and coming through. But when he laid me down, or when I lie down, the stomach kind of protrudes through the diaphragm, and stomach acid's just coming back uncontrollably, just going up towards my esophagus, through my esophagus, up into my vocal cords. And so it's a combination of that and not allowing my body to heal, and in terms of like singing 4 times a week and not getting proper rest and fighting COVID. And it's just a combination of things. It's like a perfect storm of like unfortunateness. Plus I developed like this cough this week. It's been tragic. I did a show on Monday night, right? And it was like, look, because I'll tell you what, it's been rough. It's been very difficult. I mean, to get through shows, to do what I gotta do, whatever. So I'm playing the show on Monday, and we're about maybe an hour and a half into the show. And I'm just not, I'm not feeling good. I mean, I just feel tired and drained. And this man walks up during the break, and he says, "Would you let my friend sing?" And he's like, if you do this song and he can sing it, I'll give you. And he puts $100 in the tip jar. And I haven't seen $100 like that in the tip jar in a bit. So I was like, I don't care what song you say, we're gonna learn that bitch, and your friend can sing to his heart's content with that song. And look, sometimes when you do this kind of thing, and like people are like, "Would you let my friend come up and sing?" It's almost always like somebody wants to come out of the audience and like show off, like, and just belt out some craziness. And so they wanted to do like Sweet Child of Mine, right? So you can already hear in your mind how that's going to go, right? It's somebody who, and he looked like a rock and roller. So I'm like, he's going to come up here and like belt that thing out. It's going to be like that part of the, what's that? Step Brothers, where he comes out and sings Sweet Child of Mine all pretty and whatever. Anyway, so Vince, he's very talented. He learns a song in all of the 5 minutes of that we're on break. And he's like, all right, I got it. With the breakdowns and everything, he's ready to go. And so we get back on stage and we're like, yo, you ready? And I want to bring up a special guest. He's going to come up here. I'm hyping the dude up because I'm ready, like whatever. And the guy, he's like, well, I don't want to go up there. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, and look, it's a Monday night. So, at first it was packed. There was like a group there for like some convention, and then they dipped, and then it was one big table, and it was one of the guy, who was part of the table, and you can't ask for more. It's a crowd of your peers who are hyping you up. They're telling you, get up there and sing this song. We want you to sing it, And I was like, listen, man, I told your homeboy that I was going to get you up here, so I'll back you up. Just come on up. And I said, I tell you what, I bet your friends will sing it with you, like from the table. And they're like, yeah, whatever. So the guy's like, finally, he's like, okay, I'll come up. And here's the thing. The guy was not Axl Rose. And he told me from the get-go, he got up on stage and he's like, dude, I can't sing. They just want to embarrass me. I said, don't even worry about it. I'll make you shine right now. And so we did the song, and I would pretend to sing a line, and then I would stick the microphone out and be like, and he did great. He did fine. And then I was like, because I had no voice and I didn't want to sing. So I was like, all right, you tag somebody else from your group and they'll have to come up and sing. Now that you did it, you showed them that you could do it. And I'm telling you, we did like 4 or 5 songs at least with this group. They ended up staying through the whole night. And the one guy kept throwing good money in there. So I was like, dude, like it was heaven sent. And by the end of it, I made it through most of the night. Hold on one second. Just push forward. And I'm sorry, my wife was trying to open the door to the studio and she was like, she couldn't push it past. It was stuck. Anyway, sorry about that. So by the end, but I mean, it was a lot of fun. And even though I had no more voice, I had no voice to give. We made more than we've made in a long time in tips, and it was chill, and I would say it's probably definitely a blessing. I mean, like a miracle. At the very least, it was a kindness that was bestowed. You know what I mean? Like, God was looking out and said, you know what? I'm going to give you this, opportunity to chill out. Anyway, listen, my throat's really not doing too great. I'm going to cut this one short, guys. I know it's a shorter episode. Usually we were doing a good 40, 45 minutes. But I'm gonna round it up today. Just wanted to check in with everybody, make sure everybody's doing okay. Please message me at lostlikemike@gmail.com. That's lostlikemike@gmail.com. Comment on this episode or let me know what you'd like to talk about. Oh, I did want to touch real fast. I know my voice is trash. there's a lot of the social media that I've kind of been hearing feeds or like getting messages about has been about Linkin Park and how they replaced Chester with this Emily Armstrong, this lady. And I mean, I'm not really necessarily, how people are so passionate about like the topic and smashing on this lady as the singer. Listen, the single that the band put out was really good. She does a great job on it. I'm sorry, she just did. The diehards and the devotees are like, that Chester was irreplaceable. And even to that extent, like, I get it. But, even as far back as you could go as Van Halen or when bands had to replace their singers, it's just a different vibe, and the band goes on. And what are you trying to say? Oh, I thought you were commenting on what I'm saying about this. Okay. I don't know. She's tripping, but I'm sorry. I wonder sometimes what those people that are just listening to the podcast that must think when I just all of a sudden tangent and talk to like nobody because my wife is at the door doing.
So this is my comment.
No, you don't have to comment.
No, because I want to comment.
Why are you going to comment?
So I feel like the new song that they put out, I like.
Right, it's really good.
But I don't necessarily know that I like her singing the old songs.
What do you expect her to do? If Linkin Park was playing today, would you not want to hear those songs?
Yeah, but maybe it's weird because it's a female.
I mean, you know what? I'm a feminist.
The new that they put out, I like. But it's something about hearing a female.
You know what got me the worst? It was Chester's son that went on, and he was like that Mike Shinobi or what is his last name? Shirikaka, whatever that singer. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Mike. He said that he was just doing a money grab. And I think that's so unfair.
I think it's been a long time.
Right.
It's not like he did it a month later.
Right. And even if he did do it a month later, he was as much a part of the band as, Yelly McYelly and stuff. Okay, I'm just kidding. See, I don't mean to say, I wouldn't have said that shitty caca, and I wouldn't have said, I was just saying that to piss my wife off. Don't get mad and edit that one piece. Listen, I know full well that people have a hard time listening. They have shorter attention spans. They were talking about how my daughter, she watches TV. She doesn't watch TV. She watches like YouTube, or she'll watch like on the phone, right? And she doesn't even watch episodes of shows. She'll watch like highlights from like shows over the years. Like she was watching this show called Sam and Cat from Nickelodeon, and she was only watching, and it was like because she watched clips from what other TV show that girl was in, and I was like, why do you watch that? Why don't you watch the whole episodes? Like you can watch it all on the thing. And she's like, no, this is how I like it. She watches like 2 minutes here, like 30 seconds there, and she'll watch like somebody's whole entire catalog in bits. So I know people aren't going to sit here and watch the whole episode of this podcast. Okay, distractor. But what I'm saying is that my wife comes in here, so I like to try to piss her off and say things like Mike shitty caca, because she's like, that's disrespectful, and she'll give me a hard time later on. But I'm not really trying to be like that. I'm just saying his son came on and was saying it was a money grab and how nobody could ever replace him. They should just hang up the band. And it's like, I just think that's the type of thing it's unfair to say. Like when you have a band of guys and you like creating.
I have on record that you said you like to piss me off.
I have a special light. When you want to shut off my light, go ahead. I have a special light on my thing. See, it ain't gonna affect the show. Okay, I will. I'm trying to end the show right now. I appreciate your time, guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. I appreciate it. Listen to the new Linkin Park and try to have an open mind. You know, it's like anything else. They're artists, and they want to. They can make money doing none of it, and they choose to want to write and create new music. And I think that it's bold of them to just get somebody that's totally different rather than just get a clone of Chester and try to play it off. You know. Anyway, have a good day. Take care, y'all. We'll chat next week. Peace.